There is a secret, older than any empire, more guarded than any treasure, and more feared than any weapon. It is not hidden in the stars, but in breath, not locked in vaults, but in memory. And now it's returning. The secret is the divine feminine in her wholeness, not the version molded by religion or reduced to symbol, but the real force, untamed, radiant, and sovereign. She's the one who dreams times, birthlights, sinks to water, and walks freely between the worlds. She remembers the original codes of earth, and that is why they feared her. Long ago, she fell, not because she was weak, but because she chose to descend into matter. She walked beside creation to taste mortality, to feel what the children of earth felt. It was the fall, but not in shame. It was a fall as sacrifice. She gave her light to the world, trusting it would one day be remembered. But instead, her name was erased, her temples burned, her voices silenced. She was fragmented into roles: mother, whore, virgin, witch. None of them holds. And those who carried her line, those who walked as dream walkers, time weavers, water tenders, they too were hunted. The greatest sacrifice was not her suffering. It was her choice to let us forget, to allow the veils, so we might one day remember with clarity. She bore the forgetting so that when the memory returned, it would rise through us from the roots, not as doctrine, but as embodiment. They feared this. They feared the tree of life that she held, the real one, not the inverted mimicry, the living map of unison between all things, the rights of water and word, the light and womb. These were sealed in vaults beneath temples, beneath catacombs, and hidden behind false scriptures, in the Vatican, in underground chambers, in desert ruins, in crystalline grids. The knowledge of her truth was buried. But it could not be destroyed. It lived in the bones of the indigenous, in the dreams of seers, in the breath of the dragons. It lived in the lullabies of grandmothers and in the stillness of caves. It lived in the oceans and in the ash, in the fifth element, spirit. Dreamwalkers were hunted not for illusion, but for prophecy. They saw the cracks in time. They carried the unbroken threads of memory across timelines. Dreamweavers healed what was split. They wove stories and paths that crossed timelines and dimensions. Through their sleep, they touched the collective dreams. They were midwives of transformation. They were prosecuted, exiled, burned, because they remembered what others were told to forget. The exile was not only people, they were memories. They are the divine feminine wisdom of earth itself, suppressed, distorted, and fractured. But now she's gathering herself again. Now the original breath is returning. Vaults are vibrating, not for more, but for memory, from the call of truth. The first light is illuminating sealed corridors that contain the text of the Magdalene line, the rites of birth, water, and divine union, the unspoken name of the mother in her pre-Christian primordial form, the codes of the dragon buried in stones and fire, the ancestral frames still guarded by indigenous keepers. What they feared most was not death, but remembrance, because with remembrance, the control ends. Because when we remember the sacrifice, the fall, the truth, we rise. We rise with the dragons. We rise with the land. We rise with the breath. We rise with the stories that were buried. This is not revolution. This is revelations. It is not the end. It is the return, and the gates now opened by the breath of truth. And so do we. This is Monica Lessie. Thanks for listening. Peace.